studying with shamans, prayers, studying the Akashic records, writing poetry, reading books and watching people who have gone through the same process, starting to talk with people who are like-minded, starting to create a community that can actually receive me and we can create together. So all those things, all of a sudden my soul became awake. I wasn't this businesswoman, engineer, MBA type of girl, but I was starting to say, oh my God, I love dance, I love poetry, I love spirituality, I love science, I love researching and understanding consciousness. The more I started doing things I love while keeping my own life in order. I'm not saying about people need to leave everything behind, leave their families, leave their mortgages. No, you can't do that. It's a transitional period right now in which we sustain the structure that we have and we gradually create a new structure for our life. That new structure is free, is open, is alive, is full of love, is full of inspiration. You start creating a new way for your soul to speak into, and then gradually you move into that new structure. Like I give people an example. When I grew up in Israel, and I grew up in a really very power dominated, fear-based society. It's a country that's war-ridden. There's a lot of enemies around. So anyway, I won't go into all the details, but when I decided, I was 27, I remember that day, I was sitting on my desk working at a high-tech company, and I was like, this is not working for me. I am so done with living life with fear, with bombs blowing out everywhere, with anxieties. This is not working for me. I want to create a new reality for me, for myself, for my life. Well, it took me a while to actually transition out of Israel and move into California, which this is really where my soul wanted to be in 98. But so it takes a while. But guess what? The more time passes, our life is becoming better and better and better when we are really allowing our soul to express itself, to create, to love, to dance, whatever it is for you, Alan. So, Alan, if you tell me what are the things that make your soul come alive, give me an example of what makes your soul come alive.
Well, thank you for asking me. I would say putting together new ideas, writing about art and art history, insights into perception and creativity, that really excites me the most.
Beautiful, beautiful. So guess what? Each one of our audience, whoever is listening, can ask this simple question. What brings them alive? Like really alive. I'm not talking about, oh, well, yeah, it was a nice afternoon or it was a nice movie. I'm talking about really alive. When you connect with what brings you alive, you're talking with your soul. You're entering into the realm of your soul. When you allow your soul to really come alive in your body and start creating from that place and building communities around that place and sharing and moving things around with what you really love to do, this is there's a tremendous amount of awakening that will happen in that space because there is, go ahead.
No, are there communities that exist though like that?
Yes, there are actually, I feel.
Tell me about them.
I have to tell you, I feel very blessed to be able to live in California, in the West Coast. There are literally hundreds of communities. Some of them are online communities, some of them are real communities that gather just for the sake of doing things. For example, I'm a part of a dance community. I love dancing. I feel like when I dance, my soul can move, can express itself. It's very colorful. And usually where I go to businesses and where I work, I can't start dancing on the table, right? So I find communities that will serve, that will really nurture that desire to dance. I find communities, for example, that all they do is talk about conscious life practices. And I actually was a part of an integral life practice group that got together and we did vision quests together. We did meditation. We read sacred text that raises our vibration. So, Alan, listen here. What we're doing when we come together with a group of people that are seeking the same soul expression, what happens is there's a validity that comes in. There is I reinforce you and you reinforce me, and then you create a movement. That movement has a much stronger vibration and pulsation in in the physical realm, and then you enhance it further. So what am I trying to say? Because I did cover a lot of sharing here. What I'm trying to share
Yeah,
is,
and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your enthusiasm and how sincere you are in trying to bring transformation to the planet. So, yes, but please review, yes.
yes. So what I'd like to say, we are entering a consciousness age. That conscious awakening has to happen individually and collectively. That conscious awakening starts with the seed of the soul. That's where the soul, because the soul is basically your agreement, your contract, your essence of why you came here. So you gotta be in touch with it. Once you start, and again, all this can happen in parallel. You get in touch with what your soul desires. If it's writing, if it's reading, if it's traveling, if it's whatever it is, you get in touch with it. I'm sorry. Then you
I know you're excited, please. That's good. So you get in touch with your soul, you find out what really, really makes you excited, what your passion lies, which is what I tell people as well.
correct.
And then what do you do about that? That's the key.
That's right. Then what you do is start. Okay, I'm losing my voice. Hold on.
That's okay. I just want to tell people I'm talking to Natalie Zeituny, and she's located in California. And she does have a website, which is www.consciousbusinesscenter.com. And she's available for private coaching and also business coaching and bringing people to the next level of their individual and collective evolution. So, yes, continue now.
Right.
Please.
Thank you, Alan. So the first element is to get connected with the soul. Then while you're doing that, while you're keeping, so like I mentioned, you keep living life as it is, meaning you have bills to pay, you have a workplace you have to go to, you have to keep and attend to your kids and your mortgage and your community. You keep doing that. But in addition to that, and in parallel, you start creating a new reality for yourself. This is what really, really worked for me. I'm not in favor of radical shifts. Sometimes radical shifts happen. Like how many hurricanes or tornadoes do we have in a lifetime? Okay. Sometimes, yes, there are. But my perspective about life is evolution happened gradually. So as you
think so? It doesn't happen. You're saying it's not like somehow first we're one way and then the other. Evolution is a slow thing then, huh?
So my experience has been that evolution is a gradual process. The same way you plant a seed in a garden, sometimes one plant will just show up overnight, but most of the plants gradually. So what I'm trying to say, and I don't want to get too philosophical and too esoteric, but my understanding about consciousness is looking for outlets for physical manifestation to express itself through. So how we want to manifest will really depend on how much capacity we have in our vessel. And I'm going to go into it because actually this is what's the most, for me right now, I'm the most intrigued with how are we actually evolving. But I want to leave that maybe in a few minutes. I will discuss that because I want to wrap up the previous conversation. How do we actually do that? So I believe that gradual transformation is healthy. Again, sometimes you might be called to do a radical shift. This is absolutely okay. I'm not saying it's not okay. Though you listen, when we start connecting with our essence, connecting with our soul, there's going to be a lot of messages that are going to come to you. And those messages are going to come through visions, through symbols, through writings, through conversations, through people who's going to show up in your life telling you things. Listen to all of that. All of those things are messengers for you. And you decide for yourself what is the next step for you. Though I do want to share.
We have to listen to the subconscious aspects as they come through and talk to the conscious mind.
Yes.
Because we don't